Get it on the jet sweep to the short side. Up the sideline. Sam McCaffrey. He is gone.
Intercepted. It is intercepted by the Tigers. Stephen Brogan picks it off for LC.
Welcome back to the Black Swamp Football Podcast presented by the Gherkin Companies, the state championship edition, along with Tory, Strock. I am Lynn, Groll. Going to get you ready for this week's state championships in Canton as they start on Thursday night with the Division II game at 7 o'clock, and they'll roll through Saturday evening at 7:30 with Liberty Center and Wheelersburg in the Division V state championship. Coach, good to see you again. Our final podcast of the 2025 season of the football variety. We'll get our basketball podcast going here in the next month or so with Dave Krause. I know he is itching to get that rolling again.
Yeah, it seems like just yesterday, Lynn, we're sitting here at our kickoff show, and people like Cam Scadaboo's brother was sitting right here as we're interviewing those guys, and a lot of high hopes at that point. But the only one that was on that show that's going to be playing this week would be the Liberty Center Tigers.
That's right. And our MAC edition down at the Moeller Brew Barn, St. Henry.
Good point.
Was part of that one.
Good point. That was an enlightening weekend with those MAC teams that were able to make it, and especially those St. Henry kids, starting with their head coach, Josh Whirling. Boy, they do it the right way.
Yeah, he was part of the last Redskins state championship back in 2006, and now in his second year with St. Henry, he has St. Henry back in the state championship.
Boy, and as you look at the entire slate, Lynn, all 7 games, you want to give respect to everybody who's here because it's earned. But I would say St. Henry, if you had to pick one, would be the heaviest favorite just on paper looking at the teams.
Yeah, probably just looking at them and what Marion Local did to Hillsdale a year ago in the state championship, who they have coming up on Saturday morning in the Division VII state title game. Any of these games, or I should say any of these teams, surprise you that are in Canton this season?
Maybe, I was going to say none of them surprised me. Maybe one. And after seeing them a couple times, it kind of erases that. But Hopewell Loudon. Mm-hmm. When I even looked back at their region when the playoffs were getting underway a few weeks ago, I didn't have Hopewell Loudon. You knew they'd be a contender because they're well coached and a veteran team in that. But in no circumstance did I have them playing in Canton, which is the beauty of it. That's why it's decided on the field. And the one thing we can look at stats and numbers and highlights and things. The one thing we can't analyze, Lynn, is what these kids are made of on the inside. Their heart and passion and guts and all that stuff. And Hopewell Loudon's got that aplenty, and they have a puncher's chance in that game.
Yeah, they will get Kirtland on Saturday afternoon, right before the Division V state championship. And that was a Hopewell Loudon team after we witnessed them play Archbold in round 2, round 3 of the playoffs. We thought they had a chance to get to Canton. We knew they were going to have to get through the MAC and probably Coldwater. Now they have to go through Kirtland to get to the top for their first state championship. But Brian Colatrillo has done a very, very fine job with that program, and it's his 2 stints.
He has. That's a great point. Until you lay eyes on someone, you don't know. Now, Kirtland, the great Marion local teams, Liberty Center, even if you haven't seen them that year, you got a feeling they're pretty good. Hopewell Loudon, we hadn't seen. I had seen them play PH a couple times, and
PH kind of handled them, but they were a little different this season, were the Chieftains.
Yeah, a little bit different, and to me it begins and ends up front. Not even to mention all the skill guys. They've got a ton of skill, but boy, they're rugged in the trenches. Holy smoke, are they rugged.
Right. Talked to a lot of coaches from this area, not just head coaches, but some assistants, and there seems to be a tilt towards they like that bye week now that they've had a chance to use it. They had an opportunity to kind of focus back on themselves, the fundamental aspects of things, instead of the other opponent and a game plan for that week. Got them recharged a little bit from what I'm hearing. Maybe the 12 is going to be the way to go down the road. I know there's a lot of folks out there that want to see it 8, and I wouldn't be opposed to going back to 8. But I think if you're a top 4 seed, you like that bye week to focus on yourselves.
Yeah, and I think that's fair. And then I think you said from the outset, we're not going to know. There was that fear of the unknown. We're not going to know until it plays out. And not only for the players to recharge and some bumps and bruises to heal. You mentioned focusing on fundamentals, maybe doing some self-scouting, which you don't have as much time to do during the season. And then also for the coaches to recharge, Lynn, and maybe reconnect with their families, if only for a week. I think the pros outweigh the cons, and that's interesting to hear that. I hadn't really gotten much feedback myself.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to send out a survey to all the coaches now that had the bye and get their thoughts and what they think moving forward and maybe how they're going to use it if they have that opportunity again to be a top 4 seed.
I would be interested to see the scale of how they felt, meaning are there any coaches that felt like it really benefited them, really hurt them, or would most of it be, didn't notice an impact either way? Is there an extreme one way or the other?
Yeah.
Another breaking news item, I guess, in the last 24 hours, you see the Ohio State legislature is going to step in on the NIL deal for high school athletes. There's a Republican gentleman from Cincinnati that's introducing legislation to squash that member vote. He felt like there was a drastic overreaction to that, what do you call it? Not a restraining order, but that stay.
Yes.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So he felt like it was an overreaction, and he claims that superintendents and administrators and ADs he's talked to, really nobody wants it that he's talked to. They just almost felt like they just had to vote for it.
Yeah, and there were, I'm not want to throw the number out there, but there were quite a few schools that didn't even vote on that survey.
It was close over 300.
Yes. Was it over 300?
Yeah,
I was thinking it was
like
like 257 or 313, somewhere in there. I don't remember right offhand, but it was quite a few.
Yeah, and keep us out of it. We don't even,
Right. When you don't vote, you are kind of saying, we don't really care.
Yeah, you are, and a couple of his points, and I think a lot of people would agree with these. What's the mission of high school sports, right? It's to teach life lessons and all these things and all that. And then another point was these high schools aren't making the money off of these kids' backs like the colleges are. Right. That was another good point. So we'll see, but he thought it was an overreaction to just one judge in one county issuing a stay, and everybody kind of freaked out. But I totally get that if you're on the other side of it, because look what's happened to the NCAA. Now, love them or hate them, that ain't my point, but basically they have no teeth anymore. Everything they ever want to do now gets squashed in the courts, and so now they're like, do whatever you want.
Right.
So I understand, but I think we've got a long road ahead, and I know some folks in the high school realm would say, keep the politicians out of it.
Yeah.
And again, I get that. I'm for less government than more government. Right. I know we're not going to get political here, but I'd rather have less than more interference. But there's a time and a place to maybe try to protect people from themselves.
It's funny you mentioned that the college aspect in the NCAA, they don't really have any teeth, because I was talking to a pretty prominent assistant coach in the college game. I'm not going to say who, but a pretty prominent assistant coach, and he said the NCAA doesn't care.
That's funny.
Because I asked him a question about a regulation. He's like, I don't even think the NCAA knows.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go.
Yeah, their power went from way up here, 20 years ago to now. Yeah. They're just kind of, I think they just put on the NCAA basketball tournament.
Right.
And that's about
They're making their money, and they don't care.
They don't care. And I think the Big Ten and SEC is kind of running everything else.
Mm-hmm. Is there a state championship game this week? I don't want to put you on the spot too much. I know we're calling the Liberty Center and Wheelersburg game on Saturday night, but is there a game, if you're just a casual fan, for folks going to Canton this week that you should not miss in your mind? Or maybe it's all of them. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it kind of is all of them, but it's funny. I was kind of prepared for that question, Lynn, since as we're recording this a little earlier than normal because we had school canceled. I took a good look at the slate of games and dug into some of their regular seasons and that. The one game, my answer to that question, if I had to pick one, Glenville and Shelby.
Yeah.
Glenville and Shelby is the one. Now, Kirtland Hopewell is good. They're all good in their own way. Give me Glenville and Shelby if I could only see one.
Okay.
That's the one.
That was your dying wish.
Yes.
On Sunday morning.
Yeah. It'd be that one. Glenville's almost unbeatable when they play somebody, from Ohio that's a similar division, even though some would argue they should be bigger division, but that's not my point. On paper, that one gets me excited.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, Braden DeVito and the Whippets, see what they can do against Glenville.
And Glenville has that extra gear. I think it was Lake Catholic maybe gave Glenville a ball game a couple weeks ago in the playoffs, 14-3, I think it was, and you're not used to seeing Glenville being taken to the wire like that. But I think they can kind of just turn it on and off.
Yeah, they had a big lead a week ago and almost squandered that.
Correct. And what's impressive about Shelby is they've just dominated everybody.
Yeah.
I mean, no one's been close.
Right. Have they played at Glenville, though?
Have they played at Glenville, where Glenville has a lot of guys on defense that are as athletic as Braden DeVito. I'm not saying they're better. I'm saying they finally have guys that can maybe, if it's possible, bottle him up.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll find out. The Division 4 game, that is on Friday morning at 10:30 a.m., so you're going to have to get up early if you want to make that venture to Canton.
What would be your ideal day and time, the ideal time slot? Now, coaches don't care. If you're playing...
Do they not care? Or do they care?
They have a preference. But if you said you're going to be playing in the state finals, when would you prefer to play? They're going to say, hey, if we're there, I'm good with it.
Right.
But if you had your qualms as a head coach, what would be your ideal day and time slot?
I would say 90% would say the Friday 7:30 game, which is the Division 1 game. That's why Division 1's playing on Friday at 7:30.
Okay, and I agree with you 100%.
You don't have to change your routine at all.
Yeah.
The other ones you do,
Yeah.
especially if you're playing at 10:30 a.m. on Saturday morning or Friday morning.
Yeah.
Or Thursday night, even the Thursday night game at 7:30. Or 7, I guess it is on Thursday instead of 7:30. But the Division 2 game, it's just a different day.
Yeah. I like the time, and I don't have a good reason for this. I a little bit. The time slot I like is that it's Central Catholic slot. I like that Friday 3 o'clock game.
Do you? Why?
I do. It's not as nasty cold. Now, cold is cold, but the Liberty game Saturday night, that's going to be cold.
Going to be in the 20s, I believe.
Yeah.
Kickoff probably.
Yeah, that's going to be a little nippy. But I like that mid-afternoon Friday time slot. And then also, not to look ahead, but if you'd win it, you can get back to wherever you're going and
good point.
Celebrate a little.
Good point.
I like that part of it. Now, if Liberty Center wins it, there'll be a heck of a welcome home Sunday morning.
Probably. I don't think they're coming back Saturday night.
Yeah. They'll celebrate if they win.
But I remember Jerry Beauty or Tom Ward of the 97 Defiance guys. They stayed over that Friday or Saturday when they won it in 97. The same year Liberty Center did. And I remember they stayed overnight, went to the Hall of Fame, and the kids just wanted to get home.
Yep.
They were done with being away, and they were just ready to get home.
Yep, I get that, and I think it'd be fun too, playing one of those early slots. Like, say you play the Friday morning game. Who was that Friday morning? That's
D7 or I'm sorry, it's the Division 4 game is on Friday morning.
Yeah, okay.
Shelby and Glenville.
Yeah, so you play that early game on Friday and get the kids some lunch, and maybe, especially if you win, you stay there and maybe watch another game and get to kind of, because for those seniors, I mean, that's your last time together. So just a special weekend. And you mentioned the Hall of Fame. You have that right there.
You do, yeah. But I think after the game, kids are ready to win or lose. You're ready to get back.
I would agree. And you get home and celebrate. And so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I know my brother he played on Ayersville's 86 team, and your cousins played on that team, and they played the morning game. I think it was Saturday morning that they played against Newark Catholic at the Horseshoe in 86, and he did not like the 10:30. I mean, they were at state, so he didn't care.
Right.
But it was different. Newark Catholic drove in that day on their buses. Ayersville had to go down the night before, and it was just different than their normal routine. It had no outcome on the game, of course, but he just said it was different, and Newark Catholic was used to that, having won the state championship the 2 years prior to that. Both years they were back-to-back state champions going into that year, and it just felt different. They were kind of used to it. Ayersville had never played a Saturday morning game, and he wishes they would have played, their normal routine on a Friday night or a Saturday night.
Makes perfect sense.
Yeah, and a shameful plug. We wrote a book together, my brother and I. It's called Point of Sorrow, if you want to read more about that Ayersville 86 season. Find that on Amazon or I think Barnes & Noble.
Yeah, I've searched it up.
All over. You can get a copy of it. There's another one written by William Evans, who played on Newark Catholic's 85 team. It's called Growing Up Green. And that's an outstanding book. I don't know if you've ever read that, but gives you some insight on J.D. Graham and the Newark Catholic program that they had at that time.
Yeah, that was a magical time. And it was my childhood, so of course it seems more magical, but that was pretty special. And so few teams had the opportunity, and you played at the Horseshoe, and it was pretty cool. But I can understand. It's kind of like the bye week. If you've never experienced it, it's uncharted territory, and a 10:30 state championship game might scare you as a coach. It's kind of like having a game on a day school's canceled. Are your players going to be in the same frame of mind? Right.
Give me some thoughts, Coach, before we get into the state championship games. Some coaching jobs around this area that they really showed just an impressive fashion this season. I think Andy Schaefer at Columbus Grove, that 0-3 start, and if they had beaten St. Henry last week, they would have been a favorite against Hillsdale.
Yeah, they would have.
What Casey Moeller is doing here at Liberty Center, he follows in the footsteps of Rex Lindgren, and boy, all that's missing is the state championship to kind of elevate his status. Greg Dempsey again.
All great points.
And it doesn't have to be a team playing for state.
Yeah. What Casey Muller's done here at Liberty Center, Lynn, I don't think you can't quantify it because, again, you don't want to follow the man. You want to follow the next guy, and he followed Rex. And, yes, they have good players. But there's a lot of teams that have good players that don't win all the time. So what Casey's done and his staff, honestly, it's unbelievable. It really is. And they've got a bullseye on them. Everybody's gunning for them. They get everybody's best, and it still isn't good enough. Brian Colatrillo at Hopewell Loudon, unbelievable what he's done there. Lima Bath, Frank Russell. I think what he's done in a short time, I think his the job he's done coaching is unbelievable. Travis Moyer at Wapakoneta, the consistency is impressive to me. Those are some. Wes Schrader down at Olentangy Orange. I know it's way out of our coverage area, but it's unbelievable. I mean, they're going in undefeated, and for my money, I think they're a favorite against St. X.
They are.
Mr. Football Trigger Man. I know we'll get into that, but
they're favored by 10 according to Fantastic 50 this week in that matchup.
Okay.
I think of Tiger Laverty, way outside of our coverage area, but 14 of the last 15 years, he's had a team in the state championship game.
Yeah, and there's Andy Schaefer at Columbus Grove, Coach of the Year material, regardless of division, the way he goes about business. And we got a nice text from him this week thanking us for our coverage. So, Coach, we appreciate you and
his staff, Andy Coles, Trey Roney, his two coordinators, and that staff guys that have been together. You think of all these staffs that we're talking about, their assistant coaches have been forever, especially Liberty Center. Nick Miller's been over here forever.
Yep. that continuity and those guys, man, they just do what needs done, behind the scenes. And here's the thing that gets forgotten. Some of the best coaching jobs, Lynn, may have been turned in by coaches who had 3-7, 4-6 seasons. That gets so underappreciated, in my opinion. There's coaches that have gone, say they had an 8-2 season. There's a coach that went 2-8, and the 2-8 coach might have done a better coaching job than the 8-2.
Yeah, for sure.
And so it's hard to quantify that, because we look at wins and losses, but these coaches, it's hard.
Yeah, Chip Otten, what he did,
hard.
That class they graduated from a year ago, they lost their starting running back early on in the season, and they were right there on the cusp of defending their state championship from a year ago.
And got another one. Would be totally remiss if we didn't mention him. I know you'll agree wholeheartedly. Jim Menzie at Paulding.
Yeah, Jim Menzie, yeah.
How about the job he's done there, man? Boy. And not just this year, but over the course of the last few years, rebuilding that program.
Yeah, we may be forgetting some folks. This was
we are
non-scripted. We had just kind of came up with that question, but
yeah, we are. We're never scripted, which I like. But thinking of our area teams, it's impressive. Jim Menzie's right up there with the rest of them.
Let's hear it from the Gherkin Company. Is also our host here, American Freedom Energy. Come back and break down the state championship games coming up this week.
Who says a college degree is the only path to a fulfilling career? At the Gherkin Companies, we offer rewarding livelihoods with or without a degree. Gherkin provides a generous benefits package, continuous training, top-notch equipment, and a culture that rewards effort. We're looking for rock-solid performers to help build and reinforce the region's infrastructure. Whether you have construction experience or are just starting your career, apply now at gherkincompanies.com/careers.
American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store off Route 24 on State Route 109, just south of Liberty Center, now has 88 unleaded fuel and is your one-stop shop for fuel, food, drinks, and much, much more, including locally raised meats and home-baked goods. American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store is proud to support Black Swamp Football and is the host of the Black Swamp Football podcast, football show, and Saturday mornings Rise and Rewind. Stop in and see Glenn and Greg today and make American Freedom Energy and Grandma's General Store a part of your everyday routine. Huge thanks to the Gherkin Company's title sponsor of our podcast again this season. Also will be the title sponsor of our basketball podcast once the basketballs get rolled out here in our studio.
Yeah, and Lynn, I'm and I know I speak for you, but I'm just so beyond appreciative for our sponsors, because when you look at them, like if you're being sponsored by a local home remodeler, maybe he or she's looking to pick up some business because of the advertising. The Gherkin Companies, I mean, you're not going to call them to put in a new driveway, nor are you going to call Norm Zeider at Swanton Welding to fix your lawnmower blade,
They probably could.
To weld it up. They could in short order.
If you know the right person at either of those places, they probably could do that for you. But
they probably could. But workforce development, it is very difficult for a lot of companies now to outfit their workforce with the necessary people. And so if you're a young person, or you don't even have to be a young person, but if you're a hard worker and loyal and disciplined, the Gherkin Company, Swanton Welding Company, I couldn't think of better people. If you're adept at all in automotives, Kyle Kern at KK Collision, all great people to work for. And so it's worth considering if you're kind of spinning your wheels looking for a career path. And Norm Zeider at Swanton Welding, they'll train you too.
Right.
If you're willing to get your hands dirty, and they'll pay you well.
Yeah.
And the Gherkin Companies, my goodness, there's 1,000 different jobs within the Gherkin Companies.
Yep. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank to all of you that have supported us and have listened to us or watched us throughout this season. We're looking forward to next fall already, as we have some plans in the works that we may have some video on our game casts next year. I don't want to release too many details yet, but we're working on that.
Keep kind of dangling.
Yeah. But we're working on that for 2026. Looking forward to that. And thank you to everybody that has supported us, especially all of our sponsors. Going to start in Division II. Coach Avon 13-1 playing Cincinnati Anderson 14-0. This game is Thursday at 7 p.m. in Canton. A rematch of last year's Division II state championship that Avon won 20-13. Third state championship game appearance for Avon. Won their only state title a year ago. Fourth state championship game appearance for Anderson. Their only state title came in 2007. Anderson has gained over 6,000 yards of offense this season. They average 44.3 points per game and 463.1 yards per game. They've outscored their opponents 620 to 190. Powered by junior quarterback Owen Scalf, who has thrown for 4,584 yards, 39 touchdowns. He is number 14 on the OHSAA's list of most passing yards in a season. 53 yards away from tying his brother, former Anderson quarterback Griffin Scalf, who is number 12 with 4,637 yards. Avon, boy, what a great job that Mike Elder has done with that program. Lost All-Ohio quarterback Nolan Good a year ago. He's now at Kent State. Senior Blake Elder, the son of Coach Mike Elder, he has thrown for 2,827 yards this season, has Blake. And the receiver Barr, 957 yards, 11 TDs, 57 receptions. Finn Jordanek, 740 yards, 8 touchdowns on 49 catches. They are their top receivers, but two teams that can put up the points, and will be an exciting Division II state championship game on Thursday night to kick off the festivities.
Yeah, some great numbers there, Lynn. On paper, you've got to like Avon with what they've done. And what they did to Walsh Jesuit last week was unbelievable. No one's really come close. Now, Wadsworth a few weeks ago, 42-21. Medina Highland, who I think was the 1 seed in that region, Avon beat them 36-19, so pretty convincing there. Anderson had a couple closer games. Big Walnut, 29-22, 7-point difference last week. And then they beat LaSalle a couple weeks before that, 35-28. So teams have been a little bit closer to Anderson, but Anderson knows what they're getting.
Yeah.
They battled them last year.
Yeah, Avon's favored by 19, according to Fantastic 50. Is that too much?
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not.
Okay.
Now, if Anderson is able to take them deep into the fourth quarter this year, if they would meet again in the future, I'd say that was too much. But see if they can do it back-to-back years.
Yeah, let's see if they can. They can put up a lot of points, give the Raptors. It'll be a good game to kick off the festivities on Thursday night. Friday morning, 10:30 a.m., the Division IV state championship, Cleveland-Glenville, 11-3 versus Shelby, 14-0. The Whippets have had – nobody's competed with them. They're kind of like Liberty Center this season.
Yeah.
Nobody has really challenged them. Now they're going to play a Glenville team that is powered by Ohio State linebacker recruit Sincere Johnson. Glenville seeking its third state championship in 4 years. They have a bunch of Bowling Green recruits. C.J. Newell is one of those, and then they have a couple of receivers, Paulie Sadler and Joseph Saffold. A year ago, Newell ran for 1,000 yards, moved back to concentrate on the defensive position this season. And Shelby, in their first state championship game appearance ever, the Whippets were 10-0 for the second straight year in the regular season, led by Braden DeVito, the Mr. Football nominee, who would probably be my favorite.
He would be mine. Although, Lynn, the more I look at with Olentangy Orange quarterback Levi Davis.
I was going to say, is Levi Davis, though.
Oh,
yeah.
Man, I won't say anything. I'm sure you'll get into some stuff here. His numbers are crazy. I guess I would lean DeVito, and I mean, flip a coin, I guess. But, boy, Braden DeVito has been consistently excellent for how many years now?
His whole career. I know Braden Martin of Martin RPI said, watch out for this DeVito fella when he was a freshman. Yeah. 12,801 passing yards. He's fourth all-time in Ohio high school football history. 126 career touchdown passes. That's eighth on the all-time list. He's also ran for 4,530 yards, 73 touchdowns, when you add in his receiving and also defensive touchdowns, because he's an outstanding defensive back for the Whippets as well. Headed to the Air Force Academy, 205 total touchdowns in his career. He's headed there with Grady Kenzie, well documented on our podcast this season.
This is a tough one. What I can't get over is when you look at the Glenville schedule, and nothing that's happened this season matters going into this week. It doesn't. Those are over with. But Massillon, Washington, Olentangy Liberty. Olentangy Liberty's a team that took Olentangy Orange to the wire twice. Once in the regular season, and then that was week 10 of the regular season, and then they had a rematch, and Liberty challenged them both times. Avon, mighty Avon, they only lost 28-16. Beat or lost to Lakewood St. Ed's. They played Hoban, lost by 3. They beat, no, I was thinking Harvest Prep. That was somebody else, played them. But that schedule's unbelievable. So they're not going to flinch one single bit. Bottling up Grady Kinsey, a similar feel to trying to bottle up a DeVito. I can't believe I'm going against Shelby. I like Glenville, Lynn.
I do too.
Do you?
Glenville, yeah.
I thought you'd ride with Shelby.
I thought they're just going to be a little too much for Shelby. But it's going to be tight.
It's going to be tight.
Yeah.
And it may not be pretty. Glenville, I mean, they're gonna have one of their linebackers or corners are gonna knock a ball loose late in the game. They're gonna find a way, Will Glenville, and they're not just talented; they're well coached. They're disciplined. Yeah, I'd love to see Shelby get it done. To be honest, what a great capstone for Braden DeVito's career, and I wouldn't put anything past him. But Glenville they have that extra gear. Boy, they've been here, done that.
Shelby's favored by 9, though.
I know.
In this game.
Looked at that this morning, and I was trying to make sense of it. And I look at that Glenville schedule, and I asked myself, would Shelby be 14-0 had they played that schedule? I think the answer is no. And that's no disrespect. But Massillon, Washington, Olentangy Liberty, Avon, St. Ed's, and Hoban. That's not even counting the playoff opponents, Indian Valley, Perry. I mean, that's like a Toledo Central Catholic schedule there. And so Glenville, this is just another game. You know, they get their scouting report. Okay, DeVito. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
I mean,
we face guys like that.
We face guys like that. And so they can only play who will play them.
Right.
Nobody wants to play them.
Right.
So we'll see. But that's the one I would like to see, Lynn.
Oh, man, that should be a great game. And I'm going to go with a underdog according to Fantastic 50.
Same.
I like the Tar Blooders.
Same. You wouldn't be surprised, though, if Shelby found a way.
No, I wouldn't. I think it's going to be close.
I do, too.
I think it's going to be close, but Shelby may need some bounces to go their way.
Yeah.
I mean, I would probably reverse that if it was me. Favored Glenville by 9 just because of that schedule that they played. But
I would, too.
The analytical folks like Shelby.
Yeah, and
They're seldom wrong.
Seldom wrong, and I don't even think Glenville even knows that Fantastic 50 exists.
Probably not.
You know?
They don't care.
Probably better that way.
Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah. Division 3, second game on Friday at 3 o'clock. Toledo Central Catholic 11-4 against Columbus Bishop Watterson, who was 13-0. Third straight year these two teams have met in the Division 3 state championship. Central Catholic won 27-7 2 years ago, and Watterson won a thriller a year ago, 19-14. 8th championship game appearance for Toledo Central Catholic, 5 titles. Most recent was 2 years ago in 2023. 26-year Central Catholic mentor Greg Dempsey, 4th consecutive state final appearance. They started off the season 0-3, Coach.
Yeah.
But did you see who 2 of those losses were? Teams that won a Michigan State championship.
Yep.
Detroit Catholic Central, who won the Division I state title over Detroit Cass Tech, which also beat Central Catholic, and then their other loss was to Orchard Lake St. Mary's, who lost, or I should say won the Division II state championship up in Michigan over the weekend.
Yeah.
How about that?
Yeah. And only one Ohio team has beaten
Walsh Jesuit
week 1.
Boy.
0-3. Number 6 seed.
Yeah, and they were 6 seed. But when you looked at the region, you're like, oh, geez. There wasn't much doubt who was going to come out of their region.
No, and every coach, if coaches voted like they do for basketball seeding. If they voted, or they used to vote for basketball seeding, if they voted, Central would have been a top vote getter.
Yeah, Jeremiah Fuller up over 1,500 yards rushing this season for the Irish, 28 total touchdowns. 25 of those are on the ground. Then you have Preston Frizzell, who's headed to Notre Dame. He's getting close to 900 yards. He has 8 touchdowns, just 33 catches overall. But, boy, he is a special talent. Victor Singleton headed to Texas A&M, the top-rated recruit in all of Ohio. He's going to lock down your top receiver all night. And then Ali Baidoun has been outstanding here in the playoffs. 2,000 passing yards, 18 touchdowns. He threw 3 touchdowns a week ago in that victory. And they didn't play very well. They had a bunch of penalties, 14 of them. I talked to some folks that were at the game, and they said Central should have won by 2 or 3 touchdowns, but just couldn't kind of get out of their own way.
Okay. And a lot of teams have a game like that on their way. Yeah. And if you can overcome it, then you live to fight again.
Yeah. 8th championship game appearance for Watterson. 3 state championships. Obviously, the most recent was a year ago in that victory over Central Catholic, led by Miami University commit Drew Bellisari. 124 of 200 passing, 2,265 yards, 29 touchdowns. He's also ran for 658 yards and 11 more scores. His cousin Carter Bellisari, 71 catches, 928 yards, 11 TDs, and then they have a couple of outstanding offensive linemen up front on the trenches. Does Bishop Watterson. But I like Central Catholic to get a little revenge this season.
Do you?
Yep, I do.
Well, and I'd like to see it. I have. And I know some people, they don't like teams that win all the time. Yeah. But when they do it the right way, I like them. Yeah. I like what Tim Goodwin did at Marion Local. I don't mind teams that win all the time if they do it the right way. And I just have so much respect for Greg Dempsey. The guy will never rub it in your face ever.
Yep.
He'll play all comers, and I'm rooting for the Irish, but I'm going to go with Watterson.
You are?
I'm going to go with Watterson.
Watterson's favored by 5.
Are they?
5.
Boy, that's tight. That's tight.
The closest spread of all the state championship games.
Okay. Now, I like Toledo Central Catholic. We talked about Glenville's schedule. I like Central Catholic's schedule, and I didn't look at the strength of schedule. The score for Watterson it's comical. They beat Tiffin Columbian 81-7. 81-7. And then the Harvest Prep I mentioned a minute ago, it was Watterson who played Harvest Prep. Watterson beat them 36-6. I'm going to go with Watterson, even though I think that Central's been tested many more times this year. If you look at Watterson's scores, they haven't even been, this team from Delaware, it was 14-13 week 2. Other than that, these scores are all like 50-0 every week.
Wow.
And so they've been dominant. I'm going to go with them. But if Central can play a clean, complete game, and
they play a game like they did a week ago, they don't have a chance.
They don't have a chance. No, they don't. But if they button things up and they're disciplined, they have a chance. But I'm going with Watterson.
Okay. I like Central Catholic in this Division III matchup this season, 3rd straight year that those two teams are going to clash. Going to take a break, come back, and talk about Division I after these messages from the Gherkin Companies.
Uncertain that college is right for you? Concerned about the cost of higher education? At the Gherkin Companies, we offer rewarding livelihoods even without a degree. That's a good living straight out of high school with no tuition debt. Starting pay between recent college grads and those with high school diplomas is closer than you might think. So if you enjoy teamwork, working outdoors, and being part of something meaningful, consider your options at gherkincompanies.com/careers.
Thank you again to the Gherkin Companies, title sponsor of our podcast again this season. Division I, Friday night at 7:30 p.m. Cincinnati St. Xavier, 11-2, facing off against Lewis Center Olentangy Orange, who is 14-0. Orange favored by 10, according to Fantastic 50. Is that too much?
3 weeks ago, I'd have said yes. That'd be too much if those two met in the final. After what Orange has done the last couple of weeks, Lynn, I will not argue with anything. They may be destined to win this in Division I. And they not just offensively, they're not just really talented. Their defense is lights out, man.
First time that Orange has been in a state championship game. I think this is maybe their 16th year of playing football, but their first state championship game appearance.
Yeah, they've been good, but to make it to the final game in Division I, that is a whole nother animal.
Yeah.
Period. It just is. You look at the big schools around the state of Ohio, one of them being St. X, St. Ed's, who they slayed last week. It is rare to be able to win a title in D1, and it's kind of cool to see a local boy, Wes Schrader from Lipsick in Putnam County, leading them.
Yeah. 8th championship game appearance for St. Xavier, 4 titles. Their most recent came back in the COVID year of 2020. St. X coach Steve Specht is a 1986 X graduate. He needs just 3 wins to reach 200 for his career. Senior quarterback Jackson Fry, he's thrown for 2,401 yards, 25 touchdowns. He is the son of former Ohio State quarterback Greg Fry, who is also a 1986 St. X graduate. And Greg is usually right next to us in our booth at the state championship game, as he calls the games for Spectrum.
Yeah, I remember Greg Fry, number 15.
15, yeah. He had the visor, right?
He had the visor, and he was also a baseball player. I remember very well at Ohio State was Greg Fry.
Aiden Reeder, a Michigan commit, also on the St. X team this season. And then Kobe Clapper is headed to Notre Dame.
How about this, Lynn? So both of these teams had rematches 2 times during the playoff run. Olentangy Orange had to beat Olentangy Liberty and Olentangy Berlin again in the playoffs, and they did it. For St. X, it's kind of interesting looking at this today. In back-to-back weeks during the regular season, they got knocked off by Moeller and then Elder. Back-to-back weeks, 3, 4, 5. Weeks 5 and 6. Moeller, Elder, beat them back-to-back weeks. In the playoffs, in that same order, they had to beat Moeller and Elder in back-to-back weeks to advance to this point, and they did it. So St. X is hot right now. They figured out a way to avenge those 2 losses. Probably, if you talk to Coach, they're playing their best ball right now. Mm-hmm. And those are 2 heavyweight wins. It was close with Moeller. It was 17-13 a few weeks ago. But for me, I'm going with Olentangy Orange. You look at quarterback Levi Davis. I believe he's an Ohio University commit.
Yes.
OU, is that right? Okay. And over 7,000 passing yards, 3,000 rushing yards, Mr. Football finalist, as we said. Boy, Orange, if they play a clean game, man, I like them.
I do too.
I like them.
Yeah. They just seem like they're on another level right now.
Even
in Division I, right?
In Division I.
What they did against
Yeah.
St. Ed's last week.
Yeah.
Was it 28-0?
Yeah. St. Ed's. And I was messaging.
And I heard it wasn't even that close.
I'd agree. I was messaging with Wes Schrader a couple weeks ago and congratulated him on whoever they beat that week. It was 3 weeks ago. And he said, we've got some big boys left.
Really?
And and I'm looking going, St. Ed's. Well, they passed that test now, St. X.
What year did Wes graduate, if you know?
I think he was my quarterback in 03. We went over to PH and beat him. And Wes was a quarterback on that team. Can't remember if he was a junior or senior that year. So he was around 04, 05.
Mid-2000s.
Mid-2000s.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe even 06, but I think 04, 05.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy. He's got a nephew on the team, Trayton.
Yep.
Trayton, I believe. Never leaves the field. You know, Coach Dave Krause, his son Eric Krause, is on staff, and so Dave always does a great job, like his brother Rabbit, of corresponding with us and updating us. And so a little bit of local flavor. I'm pulling for the Orange. Never easy to beat St. X, though.
Do you know how Wes got to Orange, if you know, Coach?
Well, he had a great stint down at Granville, another Columbus suburb. Mm-hmm. And he cut his teeth here. He coached for Joe Kirkendall at Lipsick for a little bit, and then took the Allen East job. You know, and Allen East isn't one of those jobs where you go, that's the job I want, you know. But it was an opportunity for him. And Allen East always had tough kids, good, solid program. West took them to another level. And we scrimmaged him at Napoleon when he was at Allen East. Can't tell you the year. One of my last years, maybe 2019, 2020. And scrimmaged Allen East, and I go, wow, these guys are well coached, okay? And then I believe went to Granville from Allen East, and I mean, won a regional championship at Granville, had him in the Final Four. And then that job at Olentangy Orange opened, and he's got nephews there, and I think it was a natural fit for him.
Okay.
Crazy.
Okay. Your cousin lives down in the Granville area, I believe.
He does. He's an attorney down there. Don Andrews was a sophomore on that Ayersville State Championship team. Yeah. And my daughter's basketball team on their road to state, they were one game away from running into Granville.
Okay.
And my cousin Donald texted me and said, that would be a good one. And I didn't have the heart to say, no, it ain't. But anyway, so good place down there. And Wes has found his niche down there in Columbus. And, I mean, you've got to be a really good coach to have success down there.
Right.
Just within the district, just within Olentangy schools. I mean, with Olentangy, the Braves, Olentangy Liberty. I mean, man, and to come out of that, the king in the championship game,
right,
speaks volumes.
Yeah, that's impressive. Looking forward to the Division I state final, Friday night, 7:30 p.m. for that one. We're going to take another break, talk about Division 7 as we get into the Saturday slate of games.
Hard-working individuals have been the heart of the Gherkin companies for generations. Together, we construct the highways and infrastructure that strengthen our communities. Gherkin is seeking rock-solid performers. We offer generous benefits, continuous training, top-notch equipment, and a culture that rewards effort. Want to be part of something big, steady, and stable with room to grow? Whether you're experienced or just starting your career, we encourage you to apply at gherkincompanies.com/careers.
Welcome back to the Black Swamp Football Podcast presented by the Gherkin Companies. On to Saturday's slate of games from Canton. Going to start with Division 7, 10:30 a.m. on Saturday morning. It's St. Henry, 13-1, against Jeromesville Hillsdale, also 13-1. Ninth championship game appearance for the Redskins. They have 6 titles. Their most recent was Coach Josh Whirling's senior year in 2006. Quarterback Charlie Whirling has been a catalyst this season for the Redskins. 1,770 yards and 32 touchdowns for him. Second championship game appearance for Hillsdale. A year ago, they fell to Marion Local 74-0. So you're thinking, you're Hillsdale. We don't have to play Marion Local this season, but you get the team that beat them from the same conference. What's going through the Hillsdale folks' minds this week?
Ended the streak.
Yeah. And they are an underdog by 21 this time around.
Yeah, and those kids that played last year, right. And I'm sure there's
we got to beat the team that shellacked us a year ago.
Yeah, and the coaches are saying all the right things. We know they're well coached. They're back in the finals again, so they had to take care of some business. But so they're saying all the right things. This is a new year, and it wasn't the same Marion Local team that they beat that we played last year, and all those right things. But boy, if you're St. Henry, you can just taste it. You can just taste it after a kind of a little bit of a sabbatical between their last
19
title.
years.
Yeah, I mean, they're on the doorstep, and I got to believe they're going to have the screws tightened. They're not going to leave anything to chance, because here's the thing. You don't know when you're ever going to get back, especially when you have to go through Marion Local.
Well, you can go through a whole from kindergarten to senior year. None of those kids played for a state championship. They went 19 years in between.
Yeah, and you don't. When's your next one going to come?
Yeah.
You don't know.
You don't know. Oh, they could win 5. They could win 5 in a row too. St. Henry could.
They could.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put anything past those guys. But Charlie Whirling, boy, folks that will be in Canton that have not seen St. Henry play, Charlie Whirling's worth the price of admission. Just a cool customer.
Yep.
And he can finesse it a little bit throwing it, but he'll also run you over.
Yeah. They don't do anything too fancy.
No, kind of a longer strider, kind of glides. He's not real shifty.
Will Speck is, though.
Oh, boy. Will Speck.
Sophomore.
Yeah, and how about this? Will Speck's daddy has a state championship ring from 92.
Yeah.
And Will would like to match that. And he looks just like his dad. And he's a couple years younger. He's a sophomore. Doug was, I think, a senior on that 92 team with Tommy
Did you
Hoying.
get your
and those
paws
guys.
on Doug that night?
I didn't. But I remember their quarterback playing middle linebacker, Tom Hoying, which Charlie Whirling plays linebacker. So at St. Henry, just because you're a quarterback, you're not off limits on defense.
Right.
But no, Doug. Not many of us got our paws on Doug Speck that night. Boy, and they had great wide receivers, and Tom Hoying would just break your heart. Boy, they were good. I knew after they beat us, they'd win state. There was no question about that. And I think if we'd have beat them, it'd have been us. But it wasn't.
Yeah.
So I love this St. Henry team. Hillsdale's going to give it the old varsity try. There's no question. But
do they have any chance?
No, they don't. Because we talk about Charlie Whirling and Speck. Remember that catch Bo Hewlin that had? It was a big, big third or fourth down. And then
third down, yeah.
Jack Hulsman, Drew Langenkamp, Anderson Kramer, one of our favorite guys on that team, plays O and D line, plays like outside linebacker on defense.
Kramer, we're coming to Fishmo's.
Yes.
Here soon, buddy.
Yeah. Going to have to put together a good pie for
Along
us.
with Coach Whirling and maybe a sub and a good pizza for us.
Yeah. I want pizza.
We're making that. We have that planned.
Yep. We're I'm looking forward to it. And I'm not going if Anderson's not working. I want him to work. I was so impressed with him in our kickoff show down at the Mueller Brew Barn. Would love to, and I'd love to be able to congratulate him face to face on that state title because he's a class kid.
Yeah, so, I like the Redskins too, man. Whew.
I do too.
I think they're on a mission.
I do too. What's Fantastic 50?
21.
21.
I'm not sure that's enough.
It might not be enough. The only thing that'll keep it in that ballpark is the fact that St. Henry, if they get a score or 2, 3 lead, they're just going to pound you. It'll be Will Speck, it'll be Charlie Whirling, and then it'll be some jet sweeps to some of those other guys I mentioned.
Yeah, they could do what Ohio State did to Michigan on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, good.
Second half.
How about that drive? Was it 11 minutes?
Yeah, something crazy.
20 plays.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there with my brother-in-law and my nephews, and it just went on forever and ever and ever. And I looked at my nephew Lincoln. I said, "Is this the drive? Still the drive that started back at He goes, "Yeah." I said, "It's got to be 10 minutes."
Yeah.
And it ended up being 11.
St. Henry has that ability.
They can do it. They can do it.
3, 4, 5 yards.
Yeah. Yeah, and they
and those linemen, jeez.
Yeah, they don't ever panic, and you think it's pretty cut and dried, right? It's going to be Charlie Whirling running right at you, but here's where you get yourself in trouble. It's not just him.
No.
It's not just him. It's him when they want it to be.
Yeah, I remember when we had Tim Beckman on our football show early on this season, he talked about Will Speck.
Yeah, he did.
Remember?
Yeah, he did.
So now they got Speck back there. They're a little different.
And he's only a sophomore.
Yeah.
He's only a sophomore. And then they'll run it in between the tackles. Even though Speck isn't very big, he'll run it in between the tackles.
Yeah.
And he's very patient, and he can drag some tacklers. But then once you really start pinching the middle because of those guys, they'll get you on the edge.
Right.
And they can throw it.
Yeah. They can definitely throw it. I remember back in July and August when I was talking to some MAC folks, they said, watch out for St. Henry.
They did, didn't they?
They were on this St. Henry team.
They were. And I still, even though we know St. Henry's lineage, couldn't convince myself that anyone was capable of beating Marion Local.
Yeah.
And they about did it once, and then they finally did it.
Yeah. Boy. You got a special team this season, and the job that Josh Whirling's done in just his second year is outstanding, and looking forward to seeing what St. Henry can do on Saturday morning. Hopefully they can bring that state championship home.
I think the reason I'm pulling so much for him, we got to know Coach Whirling. He's class.
Oh, he's first class.
He's first
as good of a
class.
guy as you're going to meet.
Yes. And then the way they handled success after beating Marion Local was one of the most sportsman-like things. It just unbelievable. You would have thought they just beat a 5-5 team.
Yeah, it looked like a week 1 win.
It just did.
Lined up to shake hands and no,
just respect for their opponent, and
yeah, Good to see. You don't see that much in the college or the professional game anymore.
No, you don't.
At all.
No, you don't.
No matter who you root for.
Nope. Unfortunately, no.
Yeah.
You know, the thing that drives me as nuts as anything else, Lynn, guys will make a catch, get an interception, score a touchdown. Why are they so bent on dropping the ball immediately? I mean,
celebrate.
There's guys that make an interception or a catch that's like
they don't even
close.
make an interception. They break up a pass. They do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Every time they break up a pass, the pass goes 5 feet over a receiver's head like they really did anything.
Yeah. It's out of control.
It's hard to watch.
Yeah, it is. It is. But I digress.
We'll move on. We'll move on from that. Division 6 is the second game on Saturday afternoon at 3 o'clock. Kirtland 14-0 playing Hopewell Loudon 13-1. 14th championship game appearance for Kirtland. 7 titles. Most recent was in 2023. They obviously lost to Coldwater a year ago. 3rd state championship game appearance for Hopewell Loudon. They've never won one, but Brian Colatrillo has them back again in hopes of bringing one back to Bascom. Going to read you this article by John Camp in the Willoughby News Herald. He had an outstanding preview on Kirtland going into the state championship game. State championship game is the 14th time in the past 15 seasons. The Hornets are the first program in Ohio history to play in 14 finals in a 15-year span. You think of Newark Catholic and J.D. Graham and
the great Moeller teams.
What Tim Goodwin has done at
Marion
Local. They've not done what Tiger Laverty's done. 20th season at the helm. Career record at Kirtland is 258-21. That's a winning percentage of .924. He could go 0-10 for 23 years and still be 7 games above 500.
I mean, what can you say?
23 years he could go 0-10. He'd still be 7 games above 500. So 21 losses. 6 of those losses are in the state finals. He's the 3rd fastest high school coach in high school football history to reach 200 wins with a single school. And his .992.4 winning percentage is the highest coach of any in OHSAA history, minimum of 100 games coached. He's coached almost 300. He's approaching 300, and he has that winning percentage. Here's maybe the best part. Kirtland does not have open enrollment, a badge of honor for Coach Laverty and his program. He proudly notes the same kids you see on Friday nights are the same kids who came through Kirtland Elementary.
I love that, buddy.
Mary Laverty, the coach's wife, started a tradition in 2011 to make breakfast the morning after the state semifinal win, but she doesn't shop for groceries until after the state semifinal is over as to not jinx the team. Senior quarterback Jake Laverty, the youngest of the coach's 4 children, has passed for 3,130 yards and run for 3,062 yards. He's the first 3,000 player in program history. Senior running back John Silvestro has run for 2,090 yards this season. He is the first player in program history to run for more than 2,000 yards in a season. So there's a little tidbit on Kirtland. No open enrollment. We were on our way to New York, my wife and I, to the Finger Lakes this summer, and we stopped in the Mentor Kirtland area. Mm-hmm. And kids have a lot of options in that area where they could go. Mm-hmm. And I remember thinking, geez, how does Tiger keep all these kids in Kirtland?
Mm-hmm. Isn't that something?
Yeah. No open enrollment.
If you look at the competitive balance numbers, I'm not going to get into it. That ain't my point. But Kirtland, the only school in the state finals.
They're the only one?
Competitive balance number?
Goose egg?
Goose egg. 0.
Really?
St. Henry only has a number of 3. Avon just 1.
Really?
Anderson 7. Now, as you'd expect, like St. X, 291. How about this, though? Olentangy Orange, competitive balance number of 1. Playing St. X, 291. Central Catholic, 156. Watterson's number's really low. Watterson's only 20. But 0 for Kirtland, the only team in the state finals. Competitive balance number of 0. Jake Laverty, you mentioned, I think he got hurt just past the halfway point of the season.
Yes.
Okay, and missed a couple games. So I wanted to watch some Kirtland, Colonel Crawford. Did you have anything left in your article?
I have some Hopewell Loudon stuff.
Okay.
Go ahead with Kirtland.
Just real quick, I wanted to watch some Colonel Crawford, Kirtland highlights from last week. And it's what you would think. A lot of toss sweeps, tailback runs out of the eye. It's like 1985 football, which I love. But Jake Laverty, this talk about character. So they're Colonel Crawford goes in for a touchdown. They have big running back, number 21, big bruiser. So he scores a touchdown, and Jake Laverty's one of a couple Kirtland guys that like tackled him at the goal line. But he got in and scored the touchdown. And so Jake Laverty just gets up. Instead of saying, no, he didn't get in, acting crazy, he helps the guy up who just scored. Helps him up, pats him on the butt, and goes back to his huddle.
Yeah.
And so even though I want to see Hopewell Loudon and my old college teammate get it done, I'm rooting for Jake Laverty. Yeah. That type of character, man, a dude plows into the end zone, scores, and you help him up and pat him on the butt like, hey, good job. We didn't stop you there. I mean, in 2025, God bless him.
Yeah, yeah. They'll face that dynamic Hopewell Loudon offense. Coldwater did a pretty good job against Hopewell Loudon a week ago. Brody Brickman back there, 29 touchdowns. Jason Kramer gets it some. Kellen Frankert. Frankert can throw it a little bit too.
Yes, he can.
I mean, him and Brickman are both 1,000-yard backs. If they were the featured back, very easily, probably 1,500. If they were the featured back in some other places, they'll put him back there with junior quarterback Jacoby Ellis. He's 131 and 991 passing, over 1,700 yards, 25 TDs on defense. Mason Reinhart, 110 tackles, 3 sacks. Then Aiden Ewald, the Ewald cousins, he has 9 sacks, 105 tackles. Does Aiden Ewald have this season? But Frankert and Ellis and Brickman back there.
You mentioned Reinhart. He's a nasty dude. He's physical.
Yes.
He plays really physical football. And, I liked Hopewell Loudon after the Coldwater game and then throughout the week. And then I'm a little skittish now after watching those Kirtland highlights against Colonel Crawford, because Jake Laverty is a load. I mean, he's a big physical, and then he plays defense.
Right.
And he'll smack you on defense. And then they've got a stable of running backs. I didn't get the kid's name. He's number 4. He's a tailback, and he got it and had a little shake and wiggle through the line and then gone. And I'm thinking, boy. They remind you a little bit of St. Henry's backfield with Whirling. That's kind of how Jake Laverty's built. I don't know how tall he is, but he's solid like that. And then Speck is kind of like this, number 4. Hopewell's going to have their work cut out. And
Kirtland's favored by 10. Probably about right.
I'd say fair. I'd say that's fair.
Yeah. Can they move the ball against Kirtland? I think it's going to be a challenge for them.
It's going to be a challenge to find what's going to work. They really struggled at times against Coldwater.
Yes.
But Brian Colatrillo, he had to go to some different screen packages. And he's very good at those, designing those screenplays. They're going to need some of those, but it's not just calling a screen, it's when you call it. You got to catch them bringing pressure. And sometimes you can get a beat on what another team's doing on down and distance based on some of those things, and sometimes you can't. And so if you don't get a beat on it, you call a screen at the wrong time, it could be going the other way. So Brian Colatrillo will have them ready, but at the end of the day, and these coaches will tell you, the players are going to decide the game.
Right.
You got 2 coaches going at it here. I know Tiger Laverty, what he's done is unreal. Brian Colatrillo, as far as coaching prowess, isn't far behind as far as just his ability to scheme up a game and get kids ready. He takes a back seat to no one. So the Chieftains will be ready. And if they win it and they had to go through Coldwater and Kirtland in back-to-back weeks, that'll be one of the most celebrated state titles.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
their path hasn't been easy.
No,
but I like Kirtland too.
I do too.
I'd love to see Brian Colatrillo get one, but boy, he's had to He's had to play the best of the best.
Yes, he has.
Delphus St. John's and Newark Catholic
Yep.
in the other appearance in the state championship game. So they've had to go through some small school powers around the state of Ohio. Going to take another break, our final break, and come back and break down Division 5, the Saturday night game coming up. The Swanton Welding Company proudly supports our local student athletes and coaches. We're committed to being your local steel fabrication company in Northwest Ohio and building projects across the country. For job opportunities at the Swanton Welding Company, visit www.swantonweld.com or visit them at 407 Zider Way in Swanton. Ashball Aerial is a fully licensed commercial drone company providing aerial media for commercial, industrial, and agricultural clients throughout Northwest Ohio. Want a different perspective for your events, construction projects, businesses, and more? Call 419-966-3202 or check them out at ashballaerial.com or look us up on Facebook. The fall sports season is here, and the Sports Place at Wassee-on-Ace has you covered. Stop in for all your football, volleyball, soccer, and golf practice gear and accessories. Did you know that the Sports Place at Wassee-on-Ace can create custom t-shirts while you wait? We can and we will. Come in with an idea and walk out with that perfect t-shirt of your own creation from the Sports Place at Wassee-on-Ace. We also offer custom embroidery. Whether it's a shirt, jacket, or other item, the Sports Place can fill your embroidery needs. Stop in and see us at 1495 North Shoup Avenue in Wassee-on. Thank you again to all of our sponsors. And if you have a deer that you need to help with recovering, call Ashball Aerial. Get on their Facebook page, and you can find all the info you need. They can help you with their drone with deer recovery this week of deer gun season. And if you need them through bow season or the second weekend gun season or muzzleloader season, get a hold of Trevor and he can help you out, give you $25 off if you mention Black Swamp Football as well.
Yeah, Trevor Ashball, good man. I wonder if he's ever gotten one of his drones caught up in a tree like our guest picker Kevin McCann did.
If he did, he probably was getting a ladder out because his were probably a little more
high end
than the McCann folks.
Yeah, Trevor's a great kid. I was fortunate to coach him, and he does a great job with Ashball Aerial.
Yes, he does. He was headed over to northeastern Ohio when I saw him last this fall. He went over there to pick up a drone for deer recovery. I don't know what all goes into that, how they do it, but
either. He does.
It's pretty impressive. He does.
He does.
Yeah, but if you need help, get a hold of Trevor. I promise you he will do his best for you.
Well.
Yeah. Thank you to the Sports Place at Wassee-on-Ace, the title sponsor of our Gamecast this week, which will be Liberty Center and Wheelersburg in the Division 5 state championship, and also to our good friend Normie Zider at the Swanton Welding Company. He was the title sponsor of Rise and Rewind this season. We'll be back with that coming up next August. Be here before you know it, but thank you, Normie, for your continued support. He has been there from the start with Black Swamp Football. Can't thank Normie enough for his continued support and generosity.
Well said. I don't have anything to add. There's nobody better than Normie Zider. Carry on the legacy of his late mother and father. Yeah.
What do you think the attendance will be for this Division 5 game? Because I believe Wheelersburg in the 2017 game against Eastwood, was that Coach Cromwell that sent us that text?
Yeah. Yeah, it was 8,000.
Yeah, I'm going to look that up.
8,000 in attendance of that one. This one I don't think will be as highly attended, Lynn.
Okay.
I've been to many of the late Saturday night games. Now, it used to always be the Division I game. The Division I game was always the last game of the tournament.
Yeah.
And so you just didn't get as many neutral, casual people because they wanted to get on the road and get back home. Now, these two communities are going to come out like crazy.
I mean, they'll probably have 6,000 between those two.
I would agree.
Right?
Yes, I would agree.
Are they going to get that extra
No.
2,000-3,000 the end of the day when folks have maybe had a few Pepsis and they're cold and they're just ready to go watch the game at one of the establishments around Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium? I think that's going to maybe cut down. If this was the 3 o'clock game on Saturday,
It'd be
They
crazy.
may have 9,000-10,000 there.
Yep, and when you go as a staff, and there's a lot of coaching staffs that go, and if you go Thursday night and you watch that game, then you have 3 of them on Friday, 2 more on Saturday, you're ready to get on the road and head home, especially if you live a few hours away. So the casual observers aren't going to hang around. I can tell you from 20 years experience, they won't. But these 2 communities will make plenty of noise on their own. Liberty Center been on the doorstep the last couple of years. They are hungry to finally get to the mountaintop, and Wheelersburg's tasted it too.
Yeah, been there twice and won it both times. They've been there. Trying to find out the biggest crowd for a Division 5 state championship.
Okay.
If you beat me to it, let me know.
Okay. All right.
But Liberty Center, 3rd straight year they've been there. Also there in 1993, 1997, and 1998. Their lone state championship back in 1997. So this is their 6th championship game appearance. Junior Garrison Cruz averaging almost 15 yards per carry, 14.9, 123 carries. He has 1,830 yards, 30 touchdowns. Thomas Moeller, 1,087 yards, 15 touchdowns. Thomas Moeller averaging 9.1 yards per carry behind that outstanding offensive line anchored by Hunter Spangler and Kellen Weimer, who's headed to Ohio State. They can also throw it. Senior quarterback Caden Kreinbrink, 84 of 131, 1,486 yards, 19 TDs, just 4 interceptions this season. Jackson Lonizak, 24 catches, 569 yards. Ethan Gray, 25 grabs, 388 yards, 4 TDs. Cruz, Gray, been awesome out on defense. Thomas Moeller, Lonizak, 7 sacks on defense. Hunter Spangler, 12 tackles for loss, 8 sacks. Max Walker, 93 tackles, 21 of those for loss, 3 sacks this season as well for Liberty Center as they get set for a Wheelersburg team in the state championship Saturday night at 7:30. You've watched a little more Wheelersburg film than I have, I think, Coach.
Yep.
What do the Pirates bring to the table?
I'll be happy to speak on that. I've got some attendance numbers for you.
Okay.
How about this? Newark Catholic and Delphus Jefferson back in 1985.
85, yeah.
15,116.
Jeez.
Nice crowd. Newark Catholic Mogador in 87, 13,255. Newark Catholic Ayersville,
They're third?
third in Division 5 history, 1986, 12,627. I was one of those, and you were
I was
too.
one of those, yes. Now, were those games just one ticket?
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yes.
I think those were just one ticket.
Yep,
So that
yep.
may be part of the reason why those attendance numbers are a little bit higher in the 80s.
Yeah, yeah. Archbold Mogador, 11,123. Versailles Liberty Center, 1998, 7,653.
Okay.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Big
interesting.
numbers. Those communities are going to be rabid.
There'll be a little black and orange in the
Oh, goodness gracious.
in the stands at Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium for that finale Saturday night.
So, a couple things about Wheelersburg. I watched their game against Nelsonville York. That was 2 weeks ago, I believe, in the regional championship. I believe they played Nelsonville York. So I watched the first half of that one and got a pretty good feel for them. When you think about their offense, they remind you of Hopewell Loudon a little bit. Quarterback is their trigger man, number 4, Braylon Rucker. Here's the bottom line. Number 4, he's kind of smaller in stature, height-wise, shifty. A lot of, looks like RPO.
A couple people told me he reminded them of Michael Alon, the quarterback at Oak Harbor, is what I've heard from a couple people. You can chime in. I haven't watched as much film as you have.
Okay. Build-wise, similar, not as thick. Not as thick. Doesn't throw it. They're not even close the way they threw it. And that's no disrespect to Rucker. Lalonde was on a different level throwing, not even close. But he does a nice job throwing slants and stuff off of, looks like zone read, RPO, things like that. He makes them go running the ball. So they'll have to bottle him up, kind of like the quarterback from Milan Edison when Liberty faced him. He reminds you of him a little bit. So up front, they've got a couple of big tackles. I mean, they're big tackles. They don't move great. And the one, I'm not going to say which one, but he doesn't get off the ball great, and he's not looking to do damage. He just kind of walls you off, okay? Defensively, they're interesting. 2 of their 4 defensive linemen, I don't know if they'll play with an even front against Liberty like that or not. I got to believe they got to move another guy in there. But 2 of them are like athletic guys, okay? Kind of long, lean, built for speed. They're good pass rushers. And then the other 2 guys are big, thick guys that they're going to need to hold up against Liberty's line. Linebackers on back to secondary, they run to the ball. I mean, they've got really good team speed. They're aggressive. They're physical. My biggest question, Lynn, on both sides, can they match up with Liberty Center in the trenches? They've got some guys on the back end and on the flanks that can. I don't think they can hold up in the trenches against Liberty Center. I just don't. And again, I watched half of that game, but I got a pretty good feel. Offensively, I'm not sure they're going to be diverse enough against the Tigers. I think if the Tigers build a wall around Braylon Rucker, it's going to be a long night for the Pirates. I just do.
Okay. Most points they've given up all season are the 15 to Ironton. Otherwise, they give up 8 to Kip Columbus, 7 to Archbishop McNichols, 7 to Jackson, shutout Northwest, gave up 7 to Valley, 15 to Ironton, 8 to Oak Hill, 7 to Waverly, 6 to Minford, 12 to Portsmouth West, gave up 3 in the playoffs to Morgan, 13 to Barnesville in the playoffs, shutout Nelsonville York, and then gave up 10 to Cardinal Mooney a week ago. Now, they didn't have Ike Lake, who got injured in that game, who was their standout running back, but gave up 10 in that one.
Yeah, and I can understand that based on how aggressive they are. I'm telling you, their linebackers and secondary guys, I mean, they get after it. They really do. But I also, now I don't know all the teams on their schedule, but I don't know that they've played a wing T team, even though Liberty can be much more versatile if they want. I don't know that they've seen this, a team that's as committed to running the ball. I think they're really built to defend spread teams with some of their skill guys in that, but they're going to have to, I'm telling you, this one's going to be played in a phone booth at least when Wheelersburg's on defense. Can they pack it in and do that? I also watched the highlights, like 22 minutes worth from the Ironton game, and they were impressive there as well, but I don't know that they're multidimensional enough to be able to move the ball in this Liberty Center defense. I don't want to say anything crazy, but I don't know. I don't know if they hit pay dirt against the Tigers.
Liberty favored by 15. Now, Fantastic 50 says that maybe is a little much because of Liberty getting to the state championship the last 2 years, which has weighed a little bit on the analytics, so it's maybe not that.
Okay.
I've heard some people that have watched both give me some wide margins, and some others have said this is going to be close.
Okay. I don't like it when people just, no matter who somebody's playing, like whether it's Marion Local, Liberty Center in this case, Liberty will kill them. Well, what's the basis for you saying that?
I think it's safe to say that this will be the best team that either has faced this season.
No question. No question at all.
Not knowing Wheelersburg as well as we know Liberty Center, but this is the best team Liberty's faced by far.
Yep.
By far.
Yep. I would agree. And again, I don't have a big enough sample size. Though I talked about their line maybe not being able to hold up against Liberty. But again, I watched half the Nelsonville York game. There might have been games where those guys were just road graders, and they didn't need to be maybe so much that game. But Braylon Rucker makes them go. And Liberty, you know how well coached Liberty Center is. They're going to have a game plan, and I think some of those RPOs that he's been able to throw, the slants, I just think those windows are going to close quick. And then Liberty's big D-line getting their hands up. I like Liberty Center probably by more than most people do.
Do you?
I'm not saying it's going to be 42-0. I would never say that. But I think start of the fourth quarter, Liberty Center will be tasting it. I think they'll be in comfortable lead.
Okay.
I do.
All right. Well,
Could be wrong.
Well, yeah, we'll find out Saturday night. Pregame 7 o'clock, kickoff 7:30 from Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium. As we'll do that one in the dark for the first time. Usually it's the 3 o'clock game. I think that Liberty's had the last couple of years, but we'll travel to Canton with our good friend Ned Steck-Schuley. He will supply us with incredible stats. I can promise you that.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he said incredible stats. I thought you were going to say incredible snacks.
Oh, that too. I'm sure he is shopping as we recorded this podcast on Tuesday afternoon. I'm sure Ned is making his way to the local meat markets in the Columbus Grove, Putnam County area.
There's plenty of them.
Well, last year he jumped into my truck with 3, 4, 5 bags of snacks, and about every mile he pulled out something new. Only thing he didn't have in there was a grill and ribeye steaks.
Yeah.
Everything else he had.
He had it covered. We could have been stranded on Mount Everest for a week.
Well,
he
should come up here to American Freedom Energy Grandma's General Store and grab some snack sticks here.
I'll tell you what, I was looking at them before you rolled in here today. They've got things filled up.
Do they? Okay.
They've got a ton of patties. Interesting one from Sattler Meats that I hadn't seen in there. Cheddar and bacon beef patties, not brats, not sausage. Cheddar and bacon beef.
Okay.
Patties.
I have to check into that.
I find that interesting.
I do too. I have to check into that.
I mean, those are 2 toppings people love to put on a burger.
Right.
Now you're infusing it with that. Interesting,
Yeah.
Sattlers.
Yeah.
I'll be watching you guys.
Yeah. We'll have to try those out. Again, Saturday night, 7 o'clock, we will have our Gamecast presented by the Sports Place at Wassee on Ace. Hope you can tune in to that as we'll be on the call for Wheelersburg and Liberty Center in the Division 5 State Championship. Final podcast, football-wise, of the season. Thank you to all of our listeners, all of our supporters. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Can't thank you enough, especially the Gherkin Company's title sponsor of our podcast this season. It's been fun.
It's been fun. It's been fast. As you mentioned, Lynn, our listeners, I mean, they're unbelievable, and we appreciate their loyalty. And then the coaches that have been cooperative, and the guys sending us their stats every Friday night.
Yep.
And there's a lot that goes into it. And I know you never pat yourself on the back, but thank you for spearheading this.
Thank you. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate it. It's been enjoyable these 17 weeks because we did a pre-season edition as well.
We've yapped a lot on these headsets, haven't we?
We're gonna take a little break after this one before we get into basketball mode, and we'll get the round balls out.
I'm looking forward to that. Always love basketball, but I'm really looking forward to seeing if my Tigers can climb the mountaintop Saturday night.
Yep. Tune in 7 o'clock for our pregame show. Have a great week. We will see you in Canton.